Hello, friends! Today we will see what an adventurous bunny was looking for on a frozen lake in winter. He is very brave, more than all the other bunnies in the forest. Thumper twitched his nose and ears, trying to determine where it came from. It seemed to be coming from the lake. Thumper had never heard such a strange sound before. So he didn't even notice how freezing cold it was. He just hopped right onto the lake. Thumper walked confidently across the ice, his nose twitching all the time. But suddenly, crack, the ice gave way under the bunny's paws. But then he calmed down and realized that he had to think of a solution to his problem quickly, otherwise he would indeed freeze. Then he remembered what his dad had once told him, "Don't hold your breath," and Thumper began to breathe very heavily, puffing out his cheeks. The bunny pushed against the ice again, but it still wouldn't budge. The bunny was very ashamed that he worried his family. Thumper felt very bad. He had never had such a serious wound before. His mother cleaned the wound, put a bandage on his paw, and gave him some medicine. Then she said, "Rest now. You'll feel much better after a good night's sleep." "Oh, my brave Thumper," his mom said, hugging him. He tossed and turned in his bed until morning, thinking about how he would get to the lake the next time. The bunny couldn't wait to tell his family about his new achievement. Let us know in the comments if you like the story of the brave bunny who built a bridge on a frozen lake. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. There will be many more interesting stories for you. Bye. Thumper proudly showed his parents the bridge he built. "Wow, son, you really did it," Dad said. "You're such a brave and smart bunny." Mom hugged Thumper. "I'm so proud of you, my boy." Thumper beamed with happiness. He couldn't wait for the forest animals to see his new bridge. Thumper asked his mom if he could go out, "But you're still limping, son," his mom said. "I want to help you, but I can't let you go out in this condition." "Mom, I have an idea," Thumper said. "Can't I just hop on my good paw to the lake and back?" "Well, I suppose you could," his mom replied. "But why are you in such a hurry? You can wait until you're completely healed." "Because I want to build a bridge to the lake," Thumper replied. "I'll make it myself." Mom was surprised. Such a small bunny wanting to build a bridge on his own. This was definitely unprecedented. "Well, I don't see why not," Mom said. "Just don't overdo it." Okay, he had to find a way to cross the ice. Otherwise, how would he get to the other side? But then he noticed that he could actually hop pretty well on both paws. So the bunny started hopping all the way to the lake. As soon as he arrived, Thumper immediately got to work. He gathered sticks and leaves, piling them up higher and higher. It wasn't easy, but Thumper worked diligently, remembering how difficult it was to get to the lake. The bunny wanted to make it easier for all the forest animals. The bunny sat on the edge of his bed and started thinking. When the moon was shining high in the sky, the bridge was ready. The little bunny proudly looked at his work. He did it. Hopping onto the bridge, Thumper made sure it was strong enough. It was fun to jump on the bridge. Thumper spent a long time playing on it, imagining how all the forest animals would be happy when they learned to cross the lake safely. "You're okay. We thought we'd lost you." "I'm sorry, Mom," Thumper said. "I'll never go anywhere without telling you again." The bunny's dad nodded. "That's right. You're too brave sometimes, son, and that can get you into trouble." However, Thumper noticed that the piece of ice moved slightly. So the bunny continued breathing heavily and pushing until finally, crack, the ice broke. Thumper fell into the water, where he shook himself, trying to get the water off his fur. Then he started running home as fast as he could. The hole in Thumper's paw hurt very much. Also, the bunny's whole body ached from being in the freezing cold water. But he didn't have time to worry about that now. First, he needed to warm up a bit. Of course, he couldn't just sit idle by and do nothing. He had to go check it out. Every time there is some loud and dangerous thing around, he is always the first one to go see what it is. The bunny curled up into a ball, trying to warm up as soon as possible. Thumper felt bad. He knew his family was probably worried sick about him. The bunny's mother was already preparing dinner when Thumper went exploring. She was waiting for her son to come back, but he never showed up. Thumper's dad was also very worried. He was just finishing his evening chores when he noticed that his son hadn't returned. All the rabbits in the burrow were worried about Thumper. They were guessing all sorts of things. Maybe a hungry fox got him, or maybe he fell victim to a hungry wolf. Who knows? Even if it's a hungry wolf or a very angry bear, nothing can stop our hero. The bunny's name is Thumper. That's because when he was just born, he accidentally hit his little paw with a hammer that his father used for digging holes. Ever since then, Thumper's paw was slightly lame, but it didn't stop him from being the most curious bunny in the forest. You can find out about it by watching this video to the end. So let's go. This bunny is not an ordinary bunny. One day, Thumper was chewing on a juicy carrot not far from his hole. Suddenly, he heard a strange cracking sound. The little bunny hopped toward the lake as fast as he could. When he reached the shore, he looked out at the water, but he couldn't see anything unusual. There wasn't even a single fish jumping out of the water. Then Thumper noticed a thin layer of ice on the surface of the lake. The little bunny took a closer look. Sure enough, the ice was indeed cracking. What could it be? Thumper was too impatient to wait until the ice broke through. He decided to go check it out himself. Of course, it was very cold outside and the air temperature was well below zero. But Thumper was a brave bunny. The bunny struggled to free his paws from the ice. The water was freezing cold and Thumper started shivering, and then something terrible happened. The ice cracked again and the bunny's paw got stuck right between two pieces of ice. Now he understood that he was in big trouble. It was impossible to pull his paw out of this mess. If he didn't do something, he would freeze and no one would ever see him again. Thumper desperately tried to free his paw. His heart started beating faster and faster. Tears welled up in his eyes. The poor bunny was scared. Thumper started pushing his body weight against the ice, trying to break it. The ice didn't budge. Freeing his paw, Thumper immediately ran to the shore. When Thumper got home, he immediately jumped into his warm bed made of hay. When they heard the front door creaking, all the bunnies rushed over there. They saw Thumper hobbling toward them. His paw was bandaged. As soon as Thumper had told his family about his adventure, it was immediately obvious that he needed treatment. His paw was badly injured. Thumper couldn't fall asleep. In the morning, Thumper's paw already ached less, but he still couldn't walk properly on it. Thumper happily bounced out the door and headed towards the lake. At first, he sat on his good paw. Thumper worked until late into the night. When the sun began to rise, Thumper returned home. Friends, we have come to the end of our story.